Welcome to a bonus episode of the Cascade PBS Ideas Festival podcast. I'm Paris Jackson, host of the newsfeed on Cascade PBS. On October 15th, Cascade PBS, in partnership with the Seattle Public Library Foundation, hosted a live podcast taping of Text Me Back to help ease election anxiety to the downtown Seattle Central location. The podcast is a brainchild of best friends and show hosts, New York Times bestselling author Lindy West, and Meagan Hatcher-Mays, a so-called recovering lawyer and democracy expert. With no shortage of laughter, Lindy and Meagan kept the audience in stitches with their signature style, beginning the night with a segment of their pod called Tidings, as they reminisce on a recent and odd drive around Burien, Washington. The bulk of the night, though, featured West and Hatcher-Mays playing two games, one on the topic of banned library books, and the other a news quiz on current headlines and Washington state initiatives, with podcast guest Tacoma Public Library professional Mariesa Bus, Seattle writer and cartoonist Brett Hamil, and Seattle Times columnist Naomi Ishisaka. But before we get into the episode, a content warning. You'll hear some adult language and strong opinions throughout the show. Now, let's get into it.
Yeah, we did it. Hello. 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 That was so confusing. I was like, yeah, oh my God, the hosts are going to come out. That's going to be so fun when the hosts come out.
Who'd they get?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Text Me Back Lights.
Oh my goodness.
This is so exciting. Thanks for coming, and thanks to Cascade PBS, and thanks to Paris.
Seattle Public Library.
The Seattle Public Library. Only true Seattle heads know about Seattle Public Library. Back when you would have overdue books, which I wouldn't know anything about, they would... By the way, is it nerdier to have overdue books? Or is it more badass to not return them on time?
It might be nerdier to be a stickler about respecting the library's rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But they would call you. They had an automated system. This was the brand new age of robot voices on the phone. And a robot woman would call you on the phone and say, "Hello, this is the Seattle Public Library, calling for Meagan Hatcher-Mays. You have 2 overdue books."
Yeah. Mine said, "This is the Seattle Public Library calling with a message for Lindy Lauren West." And that was one of me and Megan's very first inside jokes from senior year of high school, the year 2000, when we met.
We did it.
And we still say it.
That's right.
Doesn't deserve an applause break.
No, please.
But
don't clap at that. It's very
I'll take
stupid.
it. I mean, thank you.
Before we get started, we did want to say one thing. You might have seen some folks canvassing out front of the library. That's the Cascade PBS Union. They are canvassing. It wasn't a picket line, but I just wanted to say we strongly support unions. I grew up in a union household, and we really hope that the union and Cascade PBS can come to a fair contract soon, because work is really hard, and I love shmoney. So, well, Lindy.
Well, Megan, here we are.
Here we are.
A live show.
Doing a live show.
We're going to start this show with a classic segment that we do on our podcast. And if you do listen to the podcast, thank you so much for your support.
So much.
If you don't, that's okay.
You're canceled.
We might
but
rearrange
that's okay.
the seats a little bit.
Yeah.
If you want to, the listeners, the loyal ones want to come to the front. No, I'm just kidding. But we do this recurring segment on our show that we call Tidings, which, if I'm being honest, does it need to have a name?
No.
No, because it's just the segment where we say, hey, how are you?
How are you?
Which is just a thing friends usually do without a bespoke title and theme song, which we have.
Yes.
We don't have the media board with us tonight, but if you do want to hear the Tidings theme song, please tune into the show. It goes like this. Glad tidings, glad tidings, glad tidings.
Glad tidings, glad tidings.
It's a B-side from Handel's Messiah, truly. That friend of the show, Robert, arranged and recorded with an internet choir. Anyone here from the internet choir?
Yes, Steven! Yes! It's Steven! A classic husband, by the way. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so what's up?
Okay,
What's your
so
tiding?
let's tide. Okay, first of all, and I don't want to get, because I do want this to be accessible to all, whether you're a listener or not, but just one quick other little thing, podcast inside joke. We've been running a contest on the podcast where we said that the podcast listeners could pick a matching best friends tattoo for me and Meagan to get. And our tiding is that we finally got our tattoos yesterday.
Mine is still in its little Sanoderm ink sack, so you can't really see it,
Yeah.
but Lindy's is free and in the air.
I illegally took off my Sanoderm ink sack, and then I accidentally crumpled up my replacement Sanoderm ink sack, so now it's just raw dog in it. And hopefully I'll survive. But yeah, so we have to dig through the email to see who made the winning suggestion, but it's one of those best friends heart necklaces, except it says text me back instead of best friends. Isn't that cute?
Mine says Ixtek, and yours says Temba.
Yeah, mine says Tema.
So
That's the first tiding of the week. The second tiding is also from yesterday. It's also a shared tiding.
yeah, I don't know where to begin. Well, we used to, back in high school when we didn't have anything to do and nobody was having a house party at which I could drink soda pop, we would just sort of like drive around and look at stuff that we thought was funny and then like laugh and like crash Lindy's Volvo into a hedge or whatever. And so last night we were doing that. We were like capturing our glory years and driving around. We were just cruising around Burien, which, by the way, are you guys aware of what is going on in Burien? It is a paradise down in Burien. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So, I won't tell anyone. Somebody's gatekeeping Burien.
Everyone
in the audience.
As
you should.
We should be too. We're actually not being loyal.
Yeah, we're not being a loyal friend to Burien. Anyway, we're driving around, and what a sight we did see. We were driving down. I don't even, what happened?
So, okay, we're driving on whatever that street is that's like the main drag of Burien, 150
Ambom. It was off Ambom.
So we crossed Ambom down into Old Burien, which is so cute, by the way.
Stop talking about it. They don't like that.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. We cross Ambom into Old Burien. You know, we're heading, I believe it must be west or something. And we keep going another couple blocks. It turns into residential on both sides. I'm driving. We're gabbing away. Meagan stops talking, which is rare. And Meagan says, I'm sorry, what was that? And she's like, I can feel like true fear.
Yeah, a tremble in my voice. Yeah.
And I said, what? I don't know what. And we just keep driving. And she's kind of looking back. And she said, well, do you want to describe what you saw?
It was a shirtless man, wearing only basketball shorts, no shoes, gently petting a hedge. And this was a Monday night.
It was
at like 9:30.
Yes, full darkness.
Yeah, full darkness. And he just was just doing this, just petting it and not moving and just sort of entranced by the hedge.
Yes. And I thought, oh, Meagan, you're silly. Like, there must be some explanation.
You must be hallucinating.
Maybe his cat was stuck in the hedge. There's nothing nefarious happening. He's doing some kind of legitimate above board hedge business. and I keep driving. I mean, I think I said, do you want to go back and look? And she said,
why
no.
would I want to go back and look?
She said, no, step on it. So we kept driving. It's getting late. We're both grumpy. We're tired of driving around. You know, things that were fun when you were 18, when you're 42, we're like, why are we? Oh my God.
This is not as much fun. Yeah.
So we'd hit our limit for driving around. We're starting to snipe at each other a little bit. We're getting bratty. And so then we get lost because one of the secrets of Burien is that it is a maze of elegant mansions, like waterfront palaces.
Exactly.
Truly.
Whoever said what? Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I bet you never knew Burien had it like that. Damn.
You got to go do this driving
You
around,
do.
but do
You
it
must.
earlier because I'm so tired.
You don't know what you might find.
So then I'm like, I get us lost. We're noodling around. Megan's like, I need to go to bed. I want to pet my brother's dog. So anyway, somehow we end up coming back the same way. And I didn't even realize it. We're back on 152nd. We're driving back. We're heading back toward Ambom.
At this point, my face was fully engrossed in my phone because you had asked me about the plot of Karate Kid.
That's right.
We
That's right.
We couldn't remember how did he meet Mr. Miyagi? What was Miyagi's whole deal? Did he even know karate? Was it like low-key offensive and we forgot?
Right.
You know? So I was reading the Karate Kid plot summary from Wikipedia out loud to you while you drove.
And then it was my turn to gasp aloud. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh my God, because I didn't even realize it. We were passing the same spot on the street. The man is still there. I didn't see the man the first time, but if this is not the same man, I don't know what's happening in Burien. And I retract my endorsement of Burien. The man, I didn't even see basketball shorts. To me, I saw a very small, some sort of, he looked like a nude man, but maybe wearing like white briefs or something. Yeah. Now he's sitting on a low wall next to his friend, the hedge. Still, no pants, no shoes, no top. Some sort of fully head covering mask. Now, is it a balaclava? Is it a wrestling mask?
Yeah.
Is it a sex mask? I don't know. We went by too fast. He's just sitting there perfectly still in the dark like this. And then he sees me see him going by and he goes, so then I'm screaming. And then
meanwhile, I was like, he was the handyman at the apartment. That's how they met Mr. Miyagi. He did know karate. It's normal.
I know. And so then we just had to leave it. That's our tiding. We just had to leave it.
You were like, should we go back? I was like, what the fuck is your problem? No.
I did say if we were real journalists, we would go back and we would find out. If this was if we were really committed to the podcast, to making the best podcast.
Which we are not.
But we're not. We're not.
No, we're not.
But however, if you're that guy, give us a call. Send us an email.
703-829-0003. That is the best friend party phone. If you were sitting on a wall in Burien wearing nothing but a pair of silver basketball shorts and a scream mask, give us a call. Let us know what that was all about.
Please. No judgment at all.
Medium judgment. a little bit. It was a Monday night, bro. Like, save it for Friday.
Yeah, and if you're one of our special guests tonight, I hope you've been paying attention because that little story might come back later in the show.
There will be a quiz.
Yeah.
Speaking of our special guests, shall we bring on our first guest?
Let's do it.
Okay, she's your friend.
Okay, so our first guest.
She's both of our friends. She's both of our friends.
Yeah, that was so rude. What's wrong with you? Okay, but she has been my friend for a very long time. But more important than being my friend, she's a library professional.
Yes.
And we're at the library.
She's a woman of library experience.
Yes. Her name, well, wait, how do people do introductions? I think I say the name at the end. Okay. No. Let's bring her out, then I'll explain why I know her. Mariesa Bus, ladies and gentlemen.
Bus. Welcome to the show, glamorous queen. Have a seat in your seat with your microphone that we tested before.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome,
library employee.
Mariesa, first of all, well, we met, I don't know, let's just say 20 years ago, working at The Stranger. Mariesa was, and I say working. Working implies pay. Mariesa was the unpaid intern after me, so I trained her to toil for no money in the same information mines that I did, and we bonded and became dear friends.
Not best friends.
No,
Well, I think you're in the top 5 for sure.
Okay, we're in top
Yeah,
5.
absolutely.
It's been established on the show that everyone gets to have as many best friends as they want.
Oh, yeah.
Every best friend fits a different niche of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
Yeah.
So we are best friends, and
In the niche not occupied by
I
me.
understand. That is understood.
and now Mariesa works for the Tacoma Public Library. And no.
Oh, no. Yay!
When I invited her here, I said, "Is that okay? Is that allowed? Are you enemies with the Seattle Public
Is
Library?"
there beef between SPL and TPL? And if so, how deep does it run?
Yeah.
And what started it? What author started it?
Oh. I guess y'all haven't heard, but we're actually in a reciprocal relationship.
Sexual.
Is this the relationship reveal? Is this an exclusive on Text Me Back?
We soft launched back in like 2021,
Oh my God, I
but
love
like
that. Cute.
maybe
On
you didn't
Insta?
hear. Maybe you didn't hear.
Love it.
Probably on like our Bibliocon list.
Maybe you didn't see that on JSTOR.
Maybe you didn't see that in our
But no,
e-resources.
Marisa said that all libraries are underdogs and they're all best friends, and that was
are.
actually very cute.
Yeah.
She said
Yeah.
we all support each other. And
We
we're not
do. We
enemies.
do. So yeah, we have this like reciprocal thing going on where like SPL's borrowers can borrow from TPL and like
I bet you didn't know that.
yeah, let's just spread it around.
Wow, this is getting hot.
It's hot and heavy over here. So speaking of hot and heavy,
Yeah.
such as hold on, I was trying to make it into a metaphor. Speaking of hot and heavy, like carrying books around in the summer
Gosh.
to read. What are you reading right now?
Nailed it.
Okay, that wasn't the segue I was hoping for, but here we are.
Wait, do you have a replacement segue?
Just like maybe less sensual of like a
You're
what
the
are you
one who's like, we're in a
reading?
reciprocal
I know.
relationship. Everybody
That
can
was-
borrow books from Tacoma.
You shifted the tone.
I did
shifted
shift the tone, and
Marisa.
now we can't shift it back.
Okay, what are you platonically
tone is
reading right now?
I
while
am
fully clothed.
so happy to be reading The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride, author James McBride, who will be in Tacoma November 1st
Oh.
for our Tacoma Reads
I
program.
see. It was marketing.
It was marketing all along.
Who here has read Heaven and Earth Grocery Store?
Hey.
Gang. Go to see him.
All right,
At
that's-
Tacoma Public
We've
Library.
sold 20 tickets already. Look at that.
Hey.
Look at that.
It's actually free. Yeah.
Actually free.
That's the Text Me Back guarantee.
That's right. So Marisa, are you ready to play a library-themed game with us that's also politics-themed?
And also a little bit sexy.
This is famously a sex-negative podcast,
Yes.
so I don't
Yeah.
know how we ended up here.
We really got off on the wrong foot, and I feel uncomfortable.
That's just the Tacoma way.
Okay, so what we're going to play with library professional Mariesa Bus is, so on the podcast, we like to do these extended versions of the famous game FMK. And so that's what we're going to do. But and if you don't know what that game is, it's where usually you, oh God. Okay, usually you do it with you have three options. So you'll be like Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, and
George
a mic stand, and then
a mic stand. Yes.
and then you have to decide who are you gonna F sex with, who are you going to marry, and who are you going to kill. And so you would be like, well, I'm definitely gonna marry the mic stand, and anyway. So we like to do it. That 3 is not enough. It's
No,
boring.
never.
Too short. So we like to expand it, more categories and more options. And so for Mariesa, library professional, person of library experience, we're going to do banned books.
Yes.
Famous banned books. And then Mariesa has to decide which ones deserve to be banned. No.
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 No. We don't endorse that.
No, we don't endorse that, and
don't.
we would never.
Never.
No.
Never.
Okay, so the categories are I'll do 3, and then you do 3.
Okay.
And then I'll do
You'll
3.
do 3.
Great.
That sounds good.
Well, so the first 3 are F, Mary.
Wow.
But then for K, we're not killing a book.
No.
But we are maybe kicking it out of the library, but not for political reasons, just because it sucks. It's like not good.
On the merits, the book is bad.
Yeah.
And no one should read it.
Yeah.
So that's the K. The next ones are do karaoke with the main character or author and which song. Star in the film adaptation of. Have a drag queen read it to you and which drag queen.
Okay, this is a classic that we bring back quite often. Freaky Friday mind swap with main character or author. You can pick. Okay, this one's okay.
A little spicy.
Okay, only if you think of it the wrong way. would make the toastiest fire at a book burning, but that's more really about volume. How many pages does it have?
And also, fires are nice under the right circumstances.
It's a fire, it's a benefit bonfire to raise money for the library.
Yes. It's a community mutual aid bonfire of book burning.
And then the final
Fundraiser.
option is most likely to actually be a secret fave of the politicians trying to ban it.
So that is FMKDSHFWM, the famous game.
Got
famous
it.
Game.
Yep.
And the books. Shall we start with the books? This is from the list of top 100 most frequently challenged books. Your choices are Beloved by Toni Morrison, Nickel and Dimed by Barbara Ehrenreich, Goosebumps by R.L. Stine, 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James, Heather Has Two Mommies by Leslie Newman, Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, The Bible by Moses, I guess, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain, and 1984 by George Orwell. Are you ready,
I'm
Mariesa?
ready.
I know we only have an hour, but I have a question.
Okay.
You can't just say Goosebumps by R.L. Stine.
I know, like, is it the series? Is it the series?
Cheese and Die?
No, every single Goosebump
Night of the Living Dummy?
is
What are we
out.
talking? Okay.
Out.
Okay.
I know.
Interesting that the Fear Street series is not on here. So
No kidding.
you
So-
can watch the cheerleaders get slayed.
Marisa,
Read
would you
cheerleaders.
rather we go through the categories and you tell us the book, or we go through the books and you tell us the categories?
Up to you.
Oh,
Categories.
let's
I
do
think.
categories and you tell us the books.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Got it. Mhm.
Okay, which book? Which book? It already doesn't make any sense. Which book are you gonna F? Which book do you have a superficial lust for?
I feel like the only book that is just ready to F is the 50 Shades
Yeah,
of
that's a
Grey.
good choice.
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
don't know what else to do with that one, so
Yeah.
that's what we're doing.
That's a great choice.
Easy. Yep.
Mary.
I'm gonna marry Beloved by Toni Morrison.
A
And
good
hold
spouse.
everyone to my bosom.
A spooky choice, but a wonderful choice.
Indeed.
Okay, I'm so sorry to ask, but which book are you going to kick out of the library on its merits, not because it's controversial? Also, you are allowed to break the rules of the game.
You should have said. By the way, the answer to this is 50 Shades of Grey.
This is real. The writing is.
You can reuse it if you want.
I kind of think Huckleberry Finn is like over.
Nailed it.
That's a good second
Sorry.
That's a good one.
We've seen it.
That's hashtag brave.
It's so brave.
Thank you.
Do karaoke with either the main character or the author. And which song?
Okay. I feel like Nickel and Dimed. The message I'm getting is like 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton.
Yes.
And like,
I mean,
just come on.
yes.
Let's do it.
That's perfect.
Are
Yeah.
you going to sing it with Barbara?
Absolutely.
Or-
Rest in power.
Or Barbara, the main character of Barbara's book.
Okay,
Double Barbara.
Which book do you want to star? And you are an actress.
I am.
You are how did you describe yourself?
I'm a veteran of the stage and screen.
veteran of stage and screen.
I also sometimes host our local news. I host our local news channel, like morning show sometimes.
What?
I know.
Talk about books on it?
Okay,
I do.
Oh, that's
I'm a bad friend. We
Yeah.
did not hang out enough. I didn't know that you hosted the morning show
It's
of
fine.
Tacoma. Okay. Which book's film do you want to star in the adaptation of?
God, I'm gonna have to pick one twice.
Is it the Bible?
I kind of think that one is like too long. That's like more of like a series, and it's like Old Testament, New Testament.
Yeah,
like
it's a prestige series.
I
on
would love
Netflix.
to star in a cute film adaptation of Heather Has Two Mommies.
Yes.
God, that book
Wouldn't
is
that be cute?
adorable. Have you seen the dog in that book?
It would be so cute.
No,
Sardine, your dog Sardine
petitioned
should be
for
the
it to
dog.
be banned.
It's true. I'm gonna pick that book later again, though.
Okay,
it's
have a
cute.
drag queen read it to you, and which drag queen?
I want a drag queen to read me the entire Goosebumps series
Yes.
by R.L. Stine. I think I would pick Jinx Monsoon.
Yes.
That's the correct
Seattle
choice.
favorite. A Seattle favorite.
Great Seattle company.
Yeah.
Okay, Freaky Friday mind swap with main character or author.
I feel like you want to say something.
No, I just want you to say what I think would be.
I don't think I'm going to say what you think I'm going to say.
I think you might say what I think you're going to say.
Okay, I want to freaky mind swap with the author of the Bible.
Yes! That's the one I wanted.
Moses.
It wasn't Moses.
No.
But
I have been to church twice.
I know, it's okay. I want to, but I would do a rewrite, so then it would be really a lot more fun down here.
What did he write? Just the commandments? And then he pieced out?
There's a
then he
bunch
was
of
like, I'm all
guys
set.
who wrote
It's
it because they were
Anyways.
Paul wrote part of it.
yeah,
Oh my
the
God.
Ephesians,
Oh, brother.
Luke wrote part of it.
Okay.
Matthew.
Okay. Ooh, I think you guys might just be making this up.
No.
What make the toastiest fire at a book burning?
Well,
Parentheses,
Are you going to get
complimentary.
fired because of us?
fired. Get it? No, I think again, I don't think my friend RL is going to be even upset because clearly the series, and it's printed on such cheap paper.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be one of those magic things you can put in the fire
There
to
are
make it
so many-
change colors.
there's
'Cause
so
the
many books.
Goosebumps has that 3D cover, has all the neon. It's probably going to make some really cool looking fire.
There's so many books you could never get them all anyways. So it's a
Right.
good
I
know.
choice because you're not actually getting rid of them.
There's a surplus.
yeah.
And they're shoved under some sixth graders' bed, and they're full of Cheez-Its and crap. You should just burn them. You should not ever burn a book or destroy it or ever deface it at all.
I also think a good choice, a defensible choice is, I know it's not the same as Fahrenheit 451, but you could pick 1984 and be like,
absolutely.
it's an art project.
It's irony.
It's a metaphor. It's ironic.
It's ironic.
Right?
I already forgot about that one. Yeah.
Most likely. Sorry.
No, I think it's your turn. I don't know.
I don't know. Most likely to actually be a secret fave of the politicians trying to ban it. I have an answer for this one.
I can't wait to hear your answer. My answer is Heather has two mommies, and not the reason you think. I think that a lot of people were not raised properly to care about others the way that Heather, our protagonist of Heather Has Two Mommies, has been nurtured. And that is where a lot of our issues are coming from.
That's right.
I think they need more mommies.
I was going to say 1984 because they have poor reading comprehension.
Correct.
They thought it was a manual.
I was going to say Goosebumps, and they want to ban it because they're scared.
Scary.
It's too scary.
Scary.
Talks at the end. They're just scared. They're just freaking freaked out. All right. Anything to add? Do you have any other
Library tidbits?
library
Any
library
goss?
gossip?
Ooh. I just love okay, you think that you know how cool public libraries are, and you're like, I go to the library all the time, I love it, I do all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. We're so much cooler than anyone even knows.
You heard that?
It's so cute how we all help each other out behind the scenes. We're about to launch our first maker labs, and we're like, what do we do? What do we do? How do we do it? Blah, blah, blah. And we just ask any library, and they're like, here's our entire handbook of how to do it. Also, would you like to come on a tour? Also, would you like to do this? Everyone is just so kind and helpful, even behind the scenes, that it makes you I just wanted to share that we're everything you think we are and more.
Oh, that's the true meaning of community.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Mariesa. Mariesa Bus, ladies and gentlemen. She'll be back at the end for the Q&A if you have library questions.
Thank you,
Thank you, friends.
Thank you.
Bye,
You did a really
girl.
good job of not betraying your values.
Yeah, good job. Thank you.
I'm sorry we tortured you.
All right. Now we're going to do a news quiz. And I don't know, Lindy, should we just pick two people at random to
Yeah, I
come
don't
on
know.
stage and answer the questions?
Yeah, sure.
How about Naomi Ishisaka from the Seattle Times and Brett Hamill from comedy? Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. What's so crazy that you guys were here? That's amazing. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi, guests. Thanks for being here.
How's it going?
Great.
All right.
Yeah, good.
You guys get some Gardettos backstage?
Yeah.
The best Gardettos.
Did you guys get your Canute Burger socks
Not yet.
Yes.
that I put on
Saving us.
especially for this
Absolutely.
event?
And some Newt Berger coffee as well.
Oh, yeah, he has
branded
his
coffee.
own bespoke
so I don't
coffee.
know.
He
I guess.
does?
Yeah, I guess so.
Is it mossy?
We'll find out tomorrow morning. All right, before we get into our news quiz, hello, guests. Naomi Ishisaka from the Seattle Times.
Hello.
Brett Hamill from comedy.
Brett, do you want more of it? Do you want us to just call you Brett Hamill from comedy?
I feel like that works.
Okay, great. All right, great. We're gonna do a news quiz, but we thought, we should just look. I don't know. The election's in 5 seconds, and it's very stressful. And I want to sleep all the time. So we're gonna talk a little bit about politics, but it's gonna be funny, hopefully. But before we do that, what's top of mind for you? What's keeping you up at night?
Election-wise?
Election-wise or life-wise? I don't know.
Did you see a weird guy on the street in Burien?
I
do you think
think
that was
most
about?
Seattleites are pretty freaked out about the sort of draconian, militaristic policing paradigm that our council supermajority is putting together for us. And, CCTV surveillance is going up, and every possible widget that they could throw at the cops.
Great.
Meanwhile, they're cutting the budgets of every other department. So,
Cool.
I mean, I don't know if that keeps me up at night because that's what's happening, though.
Oh, okay, thanks, Brett.
Wow.
We love to.
I sleep okay.
I see why comedy was able to let you have some time off to come to the show. I'm just kidding.
You got some PTO from comedy. Naomi, what's top of mind for you this election?
Yeah, I mean, I'm at a great disadvantage in this group because I'm the least funny of
Stop it.
us four. That's just true. So, give me some grace here. But even less funny than Brett's, I think the thing,
If that's possible, go on.
I think the thing that I've been thinking about is there was a New York Times story I read yesterday that was really sobering in that it's kind of talking about the demographic shifts and how there was an assumption that I had as well, that as the country became more diverse, more people of color, it was going to sort of lean more left, and that's actually proving to be the opposite. And honestly, that was surprising to me, and I think it's going to cause us to recalculate a lot of the things that we've been thinking are true. And even compared to Hillary Clinton, voters who are working class Black folks, working class Latino folks are less likely to vote for Harris than they were for Clinton, which really surprised me. And this shift is really speaking to the fact that people don't necessarily care about the same things that folks like me might care about. And we need to be really clued into that and not necessarily think we know best and really listen to what people care about in the day-to-day.
I think what's happening, if I can put on my day job LLC consulting hat for a second, I think one thing that happens is there's this thing that happens in DC a lot where the concept of bipartisanship is in and of itself a goal. That's passing something is not as important as passing it on a bipartisan basis, which means you only pass stuff that sucks or you don't pass anything at all. And so I think what ends up happening is people who are most affected by a lack of movement in politics are like, well, why would I keep voting for you if you don't do anything? Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of Democrats in power. Well, there are many politicians in power. This is a beautiful C3 event. There are many politicians in power who just kind of don't want to move too fast because they're afraid that will freak people out. But in fact, it's the opposite is true, that they don't do anything. And everyone's like, well, why would I keep voting for you if you're like, well, we were going to pass something cool, but then we made it worse. And then we didn't pass it. So
and these folks
see you
were
at the
saying
polls.
these folks were saying they felt like their life was better 4 years ago.
Yeah. I'm having a nice time at our comedy show. Okay, we're going to do a news quiz now. We're going to ask our guests a series of questions to test their knowledge of the news of the day. If our guests answer correctly, they will be awarded points at the discretion of Lindy and me. By the way, Lindy and Meagan are also eligible to win the quiz. If they say something funny and award themselves points. The loser of the news quiz will unfortunately be punished by being forced to read Hillbilly Elegy by J.D. Vance in its entirety. At the end of the show, you have to sit in a special chair facing the wall and read Hillbilly Elegy. Also, he reads the audiobook himself. Wait a minute. This isn't Hillbilly Elegy.
Can we just listen to the audiobook at 5 times
I'm
speed?
sorry. I'm sorry, Brett. This isn't Hillbilly Elegy. This is, but where do I put the couch? Wait a second. I've been given the wrong book. That's a
I'd like
sex
to
joke.
acknowledge that was not a text me back.
That was not a text me
engineered
back.
gag. That was a library.
That was a
engineered
library
gag. We said, can we have a copy of Hillbilly Elegy to hold up as a prop for our real punishment for the loser of the news quiz? And they said, this is dark.
Every copy.
They said they're in use.
Listen, it could be Oppo research. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know why people checked out the book.
Yes.
We don't know. But somebody at the library did this sight gag for you guys. Give them some money. Okay? Now listen.
Wait, Brett was asking a question.
Yes,
Can you
Brett.
listen to it at 5 times speed?
No.
No.
You have to listen to it at half speed so it takes longer. The winner of the news quiz will get this half-eaten bag of candy that I purchased at Candy Time in Westlake Center. It is a mixture of sour and sweet gummies and chocolate, the classic combo.
Meagan said, oh, I should have gotten a second bag of candy and we could have used it as a prize for the news quiz. And then we looked at each other and we said, why not this one?
No one will ever know. All right, guests, are you ready for news quiz?
Yes.
Brett, we will start with you. Seattle is facing a significant housing crisis and increasing levels of homelessness. Some have called Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell's efforts to, quote unquote, solve this problem as, quote, the most short-sighted, visionless, and climate change denying solution possible. For his part, Mayor Harrell has said, hey, stop hurting my feelings. Affordable housing isn't just a Seattle problem, though. In fact, it was a focus at the Democratic National Convention back in August. Brett, which deeply radical, borderline communist, and probable Antifa leader said the following at the DNC: if we want to make it easier for young people to buy a home, we need to build more units and clear away some of the outdated laws and regulations that made it harder to build homes for working people in this country. That is a priority, and Kamala Harris has put out a bold new plan to do just that.
I think that would be Trotskyist firebrand Barack Obama.
That is correct. That is correct.
And if you were on Twitter at that time, all the urbanists were like, you know, the council's to the right of Obama in 2024.
Follow-up question, should we start bringing Barack Obama to city council meetings?
I think if we could get Bruce Harrell in a room with Obama, he will be so quickly and easily swayed to whatever Obama tells him to do.
Yeah. Well, do you want to talk a little bit about something that you invented that I thought was a real scientific survey?
Yes.
Called Your Proximity Law of Seattle
Yes.
Politics.
Who's familiar with the proximity law of Seattle politics? Anyone? One or two people there? Some real deep Twitter leftists
Deep
there.
cut.
It's just basically an idea that an axiom, I would say, that I maybe sort of stumbled upon that says that Seattle politicians are more progressive the farther away the issue is that they have an opinion on, and the less agency they have to do anything about it. But the closer the issue becomes, the more conservative they become.
Yeah.
So it's fun to, like, now that you know it, you can look at current events and see, like, Bruce Harrell speaking at a convention of climate conscious mayors, right? Talking about all the great work we're doing in Seattle. And then he comes home and he, like, chops bike lanes and sidewalks and kills transit and et cetera. So, and every mayor does that. And every local politician.
That's correct. That is correct, Brett. Thank you.
So is that a point?
That is correct.
Did I get a point?
Yes,
or?
Brett, you have
Thank
received 5 points for your original
Okay,
answer.
great.
2 points for your follow-up, and 4 points for your proximity law.
Thank
for a
you,
total
finally.
of 11 points.
Great.
Naomi,
Great.
the heat is on.
Oh man, that's tough.
Okay, for Naomi. On October 1st, the candidates for Vice President, Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota and Senator J.D. Vance of the state of Terminally Online battled it out at the first and only VP debate of the year. Reviews were mixed, but J.D. Vance did manage to avoid referring to all women as sinful flesh vessels, which everyone agreed was a win. Naomi,
Good job.
Objectively, which of the two candidates showed up wholly unprepared for the debate and relied on aw shucks relatability in a way that Kamala Harris could literally never?
Wow, that's a tough one. But I'm gonna go with the country's favorite coach/teacher,
Controversial,
Governor Tim Walz.
but that's correct. That is correct. Say more. Say
Yes.
more about that.
I mean, I wrote a column about how refreshing it was to have a vice presidential candidate who was the antithesis of toxic masculinity, especially compared to the extremely toxic forms that we saw at the convention with the Republican convention with actual Kid Rock and actual Hulk Hogan present. But then at the debate, Tim Walz, who I was pleased to see didn't have that sort of strain and didn't have the childless cat lady sort of vibe. He kind of showed up like the football player who was just going to wing the test with his charm and his good humor and good looks. And meanwhile, someone like Kamala Harris could never, ever do that. She would have to be twice as good to get half as far. She came to her debate with prepared, ready to go, had everything memorized and practiced, and he kind of just came up like he just rolled out of bed.
At one point, he called himself like a knucklehead, like, Unfortunately, Naomi, that did work on me. So, I'm still going to give you 6 points for that answer.
I'd like to note, though, we also would have accepted J.D. Vance.
That is correct. That is 5 points for Lindy.
Thank you. Oh, my God, thank you.
Good
What
job.
was that thing that he said where he was like...
Yeah, well, to your point about how, Kamala couldn't just show up and be like, I'm such a knucklehead. Womp.
Women aren't even allowed to have knuckles for heads.
Yeah, okay. It's so sexist. There's been this whole narrative about her campaign where it's like, well, she seems nice, but she doesn't have any plans. Mm-hmm. And then she puts out a plan, and then everyone's like, no, shut up. It's so boring. Who has time to read all these plans? And so at the VP debate, J.D. Vance said something like, look, I'm not going to stand up here and give you a plan. That would be boring.
Right.
Because at the presidential debate, Trump said he had a concept of a plan, which unfortunately was very funny. No.
Meagan and I are doing, from now until the election, the no giggle pledge. We are not laughing at anything funny that Donald Trump does. We are taking it seriously because it is serious.
Every time we giggle at something Donald Trump says or does, we donate $5 to the political campaign that is the opposite of his. I have donated $3,000. Oh, 5 points for Meagan. Okay, great.
I want that candy, Meagan.
Naomi, I'm going to give you another 7 points because I felt like it.
Good job.
No,
that's
was
a great
good.
reason.
I don't know. I mean, to your point, it's just like, women can't just show up to things unprepared and just do whatever.
And just read off an iPad that someone else programmed for them.
For the first time ever, look at these questions and expect to do well.
Meagan wrote the question. I didn't help her the questions at all.
I don't know. Do you feel like she's still kind of struggling, right? Because people are like, oh, she's not trustworthy, and she's too charismatic, or she laughs too much, like that sort of thing. I mean, I don't know how to.
You can't win either way, right? You're either too serious, or you're too funny, you're too cavalier, everything you do is going to be scrutinized, and you're going to be graded on a very, very interesting curve, as we've seen, where you can, have.
Meanwhile, your running mate can be like, I might have been at Tiananmen Square
30 times.
I
was
can't
there
remember.
30 times.
I think Kamala has found a loophole, though, because now she's just showing Trump clips at her rallies and being like, can you believe this?
That's 1 point for Brett. Well done. All right, Brett, we've saved our most objective question for you. What is the most bonkers initiative on the Washington state ballot this year, and how much does Jeff Bezos want it to pass?
So how many? There's 4, I believe, 4 Washington state initiatives. So, when you read an article or like an essay online that's like, here's why you should give your dog more treats.
Yeah.
And you're like, did a dog write this? Well, when you read the initiatives, you're like, did a hedge fund douche bro write this? And yes, a hedge fund douche bro did write this. So, and if you've seen has anyone seen the ads on they're on Hulu and stuff where, there's a lot of great points to be made against each individual initiative, but they've just gone with more of a blanket opposition, which is like, this douche is from California, which is like actually probably the most effective way to communicate that you should vote against all of them. So I actually applaud them for that.
Yeah. I remember when I was growing up, I feel like there was an ad, I forget what the initiative was for, but it was like, only Alabama has this same law. And I guess played up to the western part of the state. It's like, you don't want to be like them, do you? And now having lived all over the country, it's like, that's offensive. Why did they say that? That's rude. Like, they want to turn our schools into Alabama. It's like somebody should do something about this. Sorry, does Jeff Bezos want them all?
Interestingly, no. A lot of the big money players are
Staying out of it?
opposing the climate, the carbon tax.
Because he took the climate pledge.
and they're coming. Yes, so
Nailed it.
lest we forget.
He gives $5 every time. No, he doesn't. I was gonna say he gives $5 every time he emits carbon. But he doesn't do that. It's not even a good joke. He's evil.
You know what's also not a good joke, but I'm going to say it, is that every time someone says Climate Pledge Arena, to me it sounds like they're saying like a cute nickname that they're calling it Climate Pledge Rooney. So you should start doing that too.
I'm going to.
That's how I think of it.
Okay, you get 1 point for Climate Pledge or
1 point?
Sorry, buddy. Sorry, buddy.
Wow. Okay, for
I don't
Naomi.
think we wrote enough questions.
What?
We didn't write enough questions.
Yeah, we have 16 minutes left. We have to do a whole Q&A.
they-
Plus, I have a secret bonus question.
Oh, okay. Okay, go ahead.
Naomi, I'll read it really slow. I'll read it J.D. Vance half speed. You write a lot about diversity, equity, and inclusion, a phrase/acronym that has become a boogeyman among the right wing. After striking down affirmative action in higher education in 2023, which co-equal branch of government is now salivating to hear a case on DEI initiatives at work/elsewhere?
You'll never guess.
That's a tough one, but I think it might be the Supreme Court of the United States.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
10 points for Naomi. How horrible would that be?
You know, I think it would be pretty bad. And I
Yeah.
think we got a little taste of that last year when they struck down affirmative action, and we're seeing the ramifications of that already play out in schools. And they're really going to take the ball and run with it with their tax on DEI. There's already been numerous lawsuits filed to try to advance the goals of the larger project of dismantling all forms of diversity trainings, education, anything that might help workplaces and places where people try to get some form of level playing field eradicated. And they're going to be really successful at that because they were very successful with affirmative action.
Can I ask a question? It's kind of thorny and it wasn't on the news quiz. I just thought of this. What was kind of unsettling about the affirmative action case is that the lawyers who brought it solicited plaintiffs who were Asian because they wanted to find people of color to be the face of these lawsuits. So it's a way to kind of shield accusations that they were doing it for white supremacy or that they were doing something to benefit white people. So they found these Asian students to say, oh, I didn't get into Harvard because of affirmative action, because affirmative action is racist against Asians. I just am curious what your take is on that. Like, I don't know if you have a take on finding solidarity across ethnic groups or how to move forward in a situation like that. Because at the end of the day, it did not improve admission rates for Asian students.
Yeah, it did not. And, you know, I don't know if Francesca Ramsey has this thing about, I can't believe the leopards would eat my face.
Yeah.
And this was a perfect leopards would eat my face.
Yes.
I can't believe the leopards would eat my face moment, right?
The leopards who eat your face brought the case and then they ate your face.
Yeah.
And you didn't get into Harvard.
Yeah, exactly. You know, one of the first columns I wrote at Seattle Times was about this very phenomenon with the Asian Americans pushing in Washington State the anti-affirmative action measure. And I got a lot of, I was going to say something else, but I got a lot of negative feedback about that.
Pushback.
She gets the worst. You have the worst comments on the entire Seattle Times website.
I do.
By far.
I really do.
Yeah, and it's all good stuff she's writing.
Yeah.
5 points
really-
for shitty comments?
I really do. But I think that one was such a perfect example, and I think as an Asian American columnist, I'm in a good place to say it, is a really great example of how you can't carve out justice for one group and say that somehow, you can't say, oh, if it's good for me, then it's good enough. It's got to be good for everyone, right? And I think that was a piece that was really missing, and I think they're going to have to learn that the really hard way.
Yeah, we're like ass deep in learning it the hard way, I think. Okay, comedy show.
I have a bonus question. Remember?
Yes.
A secret bonus
Yes.
question.
Contestants, this is the final round
Yes.
of the news quiz.
Double or nothing.
This is for all of the half of a candy bag.
I did put my shoes on, then reach into the bag and get one more piece of candy.
And
Was I
it
careful
could
enough?
all be yours.
Now, I was careful not to touch any other pieces of candy, but how much do you trust me? Okay, here's my
Sorry,
question.
just to go back, I'm going to give myself 2 points for asking an incisive question. Okay. Go ahead.
Are you going to take away a point from me for not washing my hands after I put my shoes on and then
Yes, I
touching
am.
the candy? That's
Yes, I
fine. Okay, this is for both of you. I'd like to hear each of your answers. Was the man sitting nude on the wall wearing a mask in the middle of the night in Burien doing it for sex reasons or murder reasons? Or a third hypothesis that you're welcome to come up with yourself?
I think he thought the bush was a pet,
Oh.
and he was petting it.
And then he was keeping it company.
Hypothesis, cute reasons. Okay,
That's
interesting.
good. That's actually
2 points for Naomi. Brett, your response.
I think if you're in your own yard in Burien,
We can't confirm. We
Unclear.
cannot confirm.
if you're in a yard in Burien, you have the presumption of privacy. They do things different down there.
Unfortunately, we were docking 2 points from Brett.
he was on the public sidewalk, sitting on the edge of a garden wall.
It was a sex thing.
Thank you.
You're back in the game. Okay, 3 points for Brett. All right, the total of the news quiz. In last place. No, I'll save that to the end because it's... Sorry, they said there would be stops and starts. Okay, Brett, congratulations. You got 18 points in the news quiz. Bravo, bravo. Unfortunately, you were no match for our winner, Naomi Ishisaka from the Seattle Times, with a stunning 30 points out of I don't know how many. She did it. I came in third place with 7 points. 2 points for the incisive question. In dead last, and the winner of Hillbilly Elegy, it's Lindy West. And that's the news quiz.
Thanks for playing, everyone.
Yeah, thanks and
Thank you.
congratulations. Oh, here's your half-eaten bag of candy.
Oh, also,
This is an honor.
Mariesa plugged the Tacoma Library event. Do you all have things to plug?
Oh yeah, do you?
Anything you want people to go check out, or events, or
Where's comedy these days, Brett?
yeah?
You can read my cartoon every week on Sunday, the South Seattle Emerald. And you can come to my live comedy show. It's the second and fourth Wednesday of every month at the Clockout in Beacon Hill.
Cute.
This next show, which is next Wednesday, will be someone near and dear to your heart, I presume.
Yes, featuring the Seattle Public Library's Hemifuel J. Oluo. Yes, my dear sweet spouse, Ahame Filet, will be performing at
Cute.
Joke Tellers next week
Cute.
with many other big stars.
Naomi?
I have a weekly column on social justice issues that comes out in the Seattle Times on Mondays. My last column was yesterday, and it was about Brett was ready to like ride.
I saw the headline, and I had never clicked on a link so fast because I was like, either this is the right byline to be talking about this shit, or it's the wrong one.
This could go either
And it
way.
was the right. It was Naomi.
Good.
So.
Yeah, it's basically about the importance of healing ourselves before we can try to heal the world.
I want to do that. That sounds so nice. Thank you, guests. You're going to stay here. We're going to bring Mariesa back, and I think we're going to do a Q&A with the Sleeto. And give it up for Mariesa. Give it up for Paris Jackson. Woo!
This is fun.
It is fun. Hello, Paris.
Hello. Okay, so we have a lot of folks are chiming in. So this one kind of piqued my eyebrow here. This is from an anonymous person in the audience. On a scale of not funny to rants about sharks, how would you rank Trump's unhinged musical town hall yesterday?
If you don't, you laugh. Or we're going to owe a lot of money to a campaign. No giggles.
No giggle pledge.
Unfortunately, it was 1 billion out of 10. It was so funny. Why did he do that?
If you don't know what we're talking about, at a rally,
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
It was supposed to be a Q&A. It was hosted by famed dog murderer Kristi Noem. And she was like, actually she was doing a Q&A just like this. And they
It
had
was
to-
just like this.
It was just like this. Everyone was really respectful and nice. And they had to stop it, I guess, for like two attendees needed medical attention. I'm sorry. But then instead of picking back up, he just like gave them a CD of opera music and was like, put this on. And then he just stood there while they played like, I don't know, Pagliacci. And he was like, and he just sort of swayed. You know how he stands like kind of standing forward? So he's just like doing that. For 39 minutes. I didn't laugh once.
No.
How do I rank that? How do you rank it?
Did you actually watch it? All 39 minutes?
All 39.
Oh, yeah,
really?
I did. I wanted to really test the play. No, I didn't watch it. I just was like, this can't be real, but it was. He did it. He did that.
Yeah.
What's that guy's problem?
I don't know. Does anyone know?
Does
if you
anyone
know
know?
that guy's problem, write into our podcast.
Does anyone
Dear, text me back.
have a theory?
gmail.com. What's the next question?
Next question is from Murph. Shout out to Murph. Amidst the election anxiety and doom and gloom, there's some really exciting things on the ballots. What and who are you most excited for this election?
Guests.
This Alexis Mercedes Rink is running for position 8. So we have an opportunity to see her opponent, Tanya Wu, who has still never won an election but still sits in a council seat, to lose 4 elections in 2 years, which will be a Seattle record, something
even-
for us all to be proud about.
Not even good space guy Nelson has those kind of numbers.
Nope.
You know?
Not the frequency, the cadence of it. Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. Naomi?
The question was what we're excited about?
Yeah. I know. It's a rough one.
I don't know if excitement is the right word. I don't really got anything
Yeah.
that's exciting.
I know.
Apprehensive?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nervous.
Yeah.
Well, in DC, where I vote, I sent in my ballot already. I very proudly voted for Kamala and Coach. And we also have a ranked choice voting initiative on the ballot, and I was very pumped about that. So, because in DC, I don't know if this happens so much in Washington State, but in DC, we have like city council members who are getting elected to city council having only won 30% of the vote because like 5 people run for the seat. It's like nobody even likes that lady, and she gets to be on the city council. That's crazy. So I'm really pumped about ranked choice voting, and I voted in favor.
Good job.
Thanks.
Well, I live in Jefferson County now, and I haven't looked at my voter guide at all. But I'm gonna, and I'm excited to look at it.
I think you've got a very exciting seal commissioner race heating up.
Yes. They are regulating the speeds that the harbor seals can swim at for the safety of the porpoises.
It's a no-wake zone, gang.
Yeah.
Slow it down.
Next question is from Serena. What self-care practices heal your soul amid the election shenanigans?
That's a good question.
Good question.
Really good one.
Do you guys have an answer for that?
Competitive cooking shows.
Yes. Yes, there's
Yeah,
what
I
did
love
you say?
competitive
Bake-Off.
cooking shows.
Yeah, that's
Cooking
good.
shows.
We've been, well, I don't know, we should not get into this, but we've been watching Ink Master.
Oh, I watch Ink Master too. I don't even have any tattoos, but I love Ink Master.
I mean, wow, just the slop. Keep it coming. Nom, 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 nom. I
You can
love
turn your
garbage.
brain off.
It's so good, yeah.
Yeah.
So any sort of slop like that is how I take care of myself.
I actually, you know what I do? We gotta do stuff other than TV, maybe, gang. But I like to get up early before the rest of my family. I like to creep out to the couch. I turn the TV on. I get a couch. I bring the bed pillow to the couch.
Yes.
I turn the TV on. The TV room is dark, darkest room in the house. I put on British Antiques Roadshow. Volume a little bit low. I fall back asleep watching British Antiques Roadshow. There's nothing better. Nothing better than bed pillow on couch, dark room, no one else is up. British Antiques Roadshow.
Yeah. That's good.
It is good,
Yeah.
Meagan. I know you'll never do it, but it is good.
I'm very busy. There's 15 seasons of Ink Master.
You already
dude.
watched 12 seasons in the last 2 weeks.
Please. Not in front of our guests.
Next question comes from Claire, and this is for Marcy.
Marisa.
Excuse me.
Me?
Or yes,
Marcy?
Marisa, excuse
Okay.
me. Sorry, Marisa. Do librarians judge the books I check out?
Good question.
Wait, what? Judge the books that you check
the
out?
books.
I am not a librarian. I am a library professional. So I don't know. But no, we're just happy you're checking books out and using the resources that are provided
Yeah.
for you. Thank
They're
you.
way too nice for that. You're good. Unless you're checking out 50 Shades of Grey.
I mean, it's like
And you're probably...
Then we're making eyes.
they're probably bored, right? Like I'm always like, oh, if I'm gonna buy this many Hershey bars, I should also offset it with 6 times as many bananas. Like the checker at the grocery store is
They're
noticing.
just like,
They
whatever.
don't care.
Yeah.
They're not noticing.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, if you feel a little bit shy about your book choices, you can use the self-checkout. Because I don't,
You don't have to like offset Stephanie Meyer with like a Faulkner novel. Just get the slop. It's fine. They don't
Yeah.
care.
No, they don't. They might a little, but that would be bad of them. They're the one doing the bad thing. If that's the case. You stand strong on your 2 little feet.
Yeah, you
Do
stand
it.
on your business.
How confident are you that Bob Ferguson will defeat Dave Reichert for Washington State governor?
That's none of my business because I don't live here, but Dave Reichert did not solve the Green River Killer murder. I tell you what, there's no way he did that. I think he's been dining on that lie for like 30 years, and I'm tired of it.
Far too long.
I can't back that up with any evidence or science. People who live in Seattle, your thoughts?
Reichert's gonna lose. Bob's gonna win.
Yeah, I agree.
It's gonna
Listen.
be the least exciting victory of the entire.
His biceps can't get him everywhere in this life. You know what I'm saying?
Dave Reichert's biceps?
Yeah, you've seen him. You guys, they're like his top feature. Okay, anyways, next question.
Woo!
Can I answer a question? Can
Sure,
I pick a question?
sure.
Isabel wants to know, what's your favorite chip? And I'd like everyone to answer. My favorite chip is Cool Ranch Dorito. And you
that's
you can't use someone else's answer, so I already took that one.
Okay. Mine is Tim's Cascade Salt and Vinegar.
Yeah.
That's a solid choice.
Yeah.
Mine is turtle chips, but corn flavored.
Ooh.
If you haven't
very
had
good.
turtle chips, they're delicious.
Nice. Brett Hamill.
Funyuns.
Wow. Controversial.
Okay.
Out of left field.
Okay.
I'm a pistachio guy. I don't.
That was
I
a
don't-
disrespectful tone
Wow.
to the question.
Wow. Marisa, your favorite chip?
Pita chips.
Nice. Nailed it. Stacy's? We're talking
Stacy's,
Stacy's?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Another solid choice.
Paris, do you have a favorite chip?
Tim's. That was mine.
Yeah, any
Salt and
Tim.
vinegar.
Do you like the jalapeno?
If I'm feeling fancy.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
I understand.
every now and then.
I understand. I stick pretty much with the salt and vinegar. I'm a baby. I can't eat jalapeno. I'm so sorry. It's so embarrassing. A single jalapeno will send me to the coffin.
I think salt and vinegar is brave because it can really cut up your mouth.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So you have your own kind of bravery. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Very brave.
Are we
Next.
done?
I
don't
think we got this one about Seattle dogs.
Yeah. Does anyone actually eat Seattle
yes.
dogs?
Yes.
I do.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
They're
Someone
good.
asked that who's not from Seattle?
Yeah.
God, what a
who asked
question.
that?
How else are you going to
That
not
was
have a
Roxy.
hangover the next day?
Question from Roxy.
You
Seattle
maniacs?
dogs are delicious. I
are
don't
good.
care what anyone says.
I don't care either.
I mean, I will say, okay, look. Okay.
Oh.
You know what?
Let us know.
I enjoy a Seattle dog. However, for me, and I've never been like a really hardcore hot dog girly. I prefer a hamburger. And the thing that really gets me going to hot dog land is sauerkraut.
Oh, interesting.
So I do a little bit mourn not having, but you can sometimes they'll have a tub and you can
Yeah.
add it. So,
Sure.
okay, glad I wasted our time with that. Yeah.
Did we do it?
Yeah.
We did it.
Okay,
podcast?
bye. No, I think we did it. We're 4 minutes and 31
4.5
seconds
minutes
over, and the library keeps a tight ship.
Yep.
So I want
Attention patrons, the library is now closed. Get out.
especially Meagan
Meagan, you still owe us $80.
Oh, that's right. Oh, we forgot to do our tagline. Let's do it. Okay, let's do it now.
Welcome to Text Me Back, the only podcast that still owes the Seattle Public Library $80. I'm Meagan Hatcher-Mays.
And they sent me to collections.
They did do that. The library sent me to collections. They don't do that anymore, apparently.
No fines.
It was on.
No, fine free.
They're fine free.
Thank you.
You don't have to return anything.
No.
It's not true.
That's not true.
Well, Lindy,
Well, Meagan,
that'll do it.
we done it again.
We done it again.
Another great show on the books. Thanks to our incredible
Thank you to our
guests. Mariesa Bus, Brett Hamil, Naomi Ishisaka.
Thank you to Paris Jackson.
Thank you, Paris.
Thank you to Cascade PBS.
And the Seattle Public Library.
And the
for
Seattle
having us.
Public Library.
And all of you for being a perfect
And all
crowd.
of you.
Mwah. We love you so much.
Goodbye.
That's it for today's bonus episode of the Cascade PBS Ideas Festival podcast. Thank you, Lindy and Meagan, for the talk. This episode of the Cascade PBS Ideas Festival podcast was produced by Isaac Kaplan-Woolner. The live event was produced by Jake Newman and Ann O'Dowd. You can subscribe to this feed wherever you listen to podcasts, and whatever platform you're listening on, please review us. We'd love to know what you think of the show. For the latest political, environmental, and culture news from the Pacific Northwest, visit cascadepbs.org. And if you would like to support the work we do, whether it's live events we host or the in-depth reporting we do every day, you can also go to cascadepbs.org. In addition to supporting our journalism, members receive complete access to the on-demand programming of Cascade PBS. Listen to more at cascadepbs.org/podcasts.